Welcome to episode 259 of Real Therapy, the place where we talk about how movies make us feel. I'm your host, Donavon Thompson, with my co-host,
Daniel Wingfield.
And today we're discussing season 2 and the final 3 episodes of HBO Max's Peacemaker. This is Real Therapy, and you know what that means.
They're gonna talk about how it makes them feel. They're gonna watch all the movie reels, cause it's Dan and Don in Real Therapy. It's real.
Hey man, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good. You know, I stepped outside this morning and it felt not like summer. I wouldn't say it felt like fall, but it felt not like summer. And that was a nice little surprise.
It's been that way this week here, and it has been very nice indeed. Yeah.
How are
You
you?
ready? I'm doing okay. It's Friday. We took I think a week off, if I recall, and or at least we had a week gap there with Luke's episode, and now we're back at it. So it's been a couple weeks for us to record anyway, and we've had some shows end, and I'm excited to talk about them.
Yeah, me too. And you are also probably excited, or you wouldn't be tuning in. I mean, why would you? But if you haven't, maybe you're subscribed to our YouTube channel, but you're not to our Spotify or vice versa. It would be really helpful if you would just like take 5 minutes and just to subscribe to all of them. You know, turn off the email notifications. I get it. No one wants those. But just go ahead and subscribe. It would really help us out. And I would be personally indebted to you for an unspecified amount of value that will be revealed later.
Yeah, you could basically just email us or write a comment section or write a comment in the comment section below to have Daniel do whatever you want. That's kind of how the deal is, you know? So
Yes, there is an asterisk there, and the small print is too tiny to read, though. So
yeah, no sexual acts, no monetary things.
it's
other
too
than
small
those
to read, Donovan. It's too small to read.
That's right. Okay, sorry. Anyway, we're talking Peacemaker season 2. So this will be kind of an overall of the season. We're really going to focus on these last 3 episodes, which, as to remind our viewers, these were not given to the press. Only the first 5 were. And then also I want us to kind of dive into what's setting up in the future of the DCU. And then more importantly, I think here's the big question for me is what's are we on the right track here? Are we on the right track?
Mm-hmm.
So I actually want to go first this time. I want to give you my general thoughts of season 2. You know, I was really excited last night to watch the finale. And I mean, I got me a Mountain Dew Code Red. I got me some M&Ms. I put on my VR headset because it's the way to do it these days. And I watched the finale. And I told you, I think earlier this week, that we were getting like a 57, 58-minute finale, right?
Yeah.
Turns out about 10 minutes of that was just the behind-the-scenes recap or behind-the-scenes part like the HBO does, which is weird because James Gunn said, yeah, next week's episode is 58 minutes. And it's like, it's actually 48, really, or 45. But that being said, I was really excited for it. Last week's episode was a little shorter, but it paved off, which I want to get into. But overall, last night, I really felt like after I watched it, and let it sit with me for a second, got online, see what other people's thoughts are, and I was kind of like, yeah, I think he kind of dropped the ball at the end in a big bad way. And up until that moment, up to episode 7, I should say, I was really enjoying it. A lot of great character moments, and there still are great character moments here in the end. A lot of cool stuff. I thought there was some weird structure things and some pacing going back and forth, and kind of what story are we trying to tell with the multiverse and Rick Flag and all these kind of things. But at the end of the episode 8 really cemented to me, oh, this was kind of all over the place. Still a lot of fun to be had, but I'm not convinced at the moment that I'm liking where it's going. No, I didn't really love where it ended, and I'm a little concerned at the moment.
Sure. Yeah. No, I think that's all fair. Just generally, yeah, I would say last night it definitely was a bit of a disappointing finale. Unfortunately, and to a degree, it's Gunn's own fault for hyping it as much as he did. He really just felt like he kept pouring gas on the hype train for this, and then for that,
the best thing he's ever done, or his favorite thing he's ever done.
Yeah. And you can kind of see it. I'll tell you the point where I realized something was wrong when we had the second concert scene of the episode. Like
Yeah.
one concert with a band, I'll give it to you, James. That's fine. It was a little long, but it was okay. But the second one, and you're just like, so this was like 20 minutes of story and 2 10-minute music videos and then 10 minutes of after credit stuff. Right? Like that's what it kind of felt like.
And if you watch the opening, that's another musical thing. And it's the same one. I mean,
yeah,
if you
didn't
watch
the
it,
opening this
I
time,
always
but
watch it, you know,
but and I'll say the first half of the episode's pretty good stuff. I loved them going into the doors, and I loved the little freaking gremlin ass people eating people's face. Like that shit was great. Not knowing what's next, like the people kind of like, you know, I loved all that kind of sci-fi. You never know what's going to happen next. I thought that was working. I'm interested to see what they're doing with Flag because they're definitely taking him down a very specific route. I mean, I will say this: it was a disappointing finale. I may be slightly less confident in how much of this will end up paying off, but I don't feel that discouraged about just the general direction yet. Now, if Lanterns comes out and it's bad, or Supergirl, or like whatever, yeah, I can start worrying a little bit, I guess. I don't know. It doesn't discourage me for the whole of it, even though it does. At the end of the day, sometimes it just comes down to like, I just disagree with the creative decision. I just don't think that's the best idea in the room, or you know what I mean? Yeah. And so it's one of those things of like, so many parts of this are working and are good and are nailing it and they're good moments. And then sometimes it just feels like he doesn't know when to let those go, or like he stays too long or something like that. And it gets a little cringy. It gets a little just not what you'd want, really, I guess is what I say. But yeah. So, I mean, it was a disappointing finale, just in that sense, even though there were parts of it I still enjoyed.
Yeah. I think, you know, I want to kind of rewind here in a second, but first I want to say, you know, look at like Marvel television, like Ironheart or whatever, Miss Marvel. I have so much more fun watching Peacemaker than I ever do those shows.
100%.
Those shows, you know, they what's funny or interesting is that they feel so much more polished, you know, just in their style. But I think just the content that Peacemaker has is more entertaining. We get better character moments. We get more real moments. It's like Marvel has kind of perfected this classical Hollywood feel. And then James Gunn is doing very stylistic, risky choices. And to his credit, a lot of them don't pay off, but when they hit, you know? But yeah, I want to get to the finale more, but let's at least rewind one more episode. Yeah. Because to me, this feels like the actual finale of the season now, in a way. Yeah. And so episode 7, we don't really have to talk about episode 6, I think, too much, but episode 7 really is, okay, Peacemaker's now in what we know, I think was called Earth X, which is the Nazi-turned version of our reality. And we're going to have the 11th Street kids go after Peacemaker and bring him back. Peacemaker's fully been, in his eyes, rejected by his own world. Yeah. And he's going to stay in there with that version of Harcourt, his dad, and his brother. As we kind of all predicted, this is a Nazi-turned reality. And I think episode 7, while it was pretty relatively short, between 34 and 38 minutes, which concerned me, I think this was such a fun episode. You know, being able to weave such a dark subject matter, even like saying like there's a black out there or there's a black there, and then like seeing the Nazi symbol, or not symbolism, just Nazi symbols and all these terrible things, they managed to really make light amongst the dark. And I thought that's really hard to do, and they did it anyway.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I loved there was some really fun moments. I loved the moment with what's the little green guy's name? I always forget his name.
Judo Master
with the swimming pool, and he's like,
I hate his costume so much. I mean,
so bad. It looks so bad underneath the like spacesuit later on when he's in like the little hazmat suit and his costume. But I kind of like it because it feels like it's supposed to look stupid. Like it
is
in a way that
it
works.
is. It just
I makes him look even more insufferable in a way.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I liked all that stuff. I loved Adrian meeting Adrian. All that stuff was wonderful. I love that he's just the exact same person in both worlds, just with slightly different, like, just,
Very good.
you know what I mean? Like, all the stuff between them was wonderful. And then, yeah, the moments at the end with Peacemaker's dad dying again, even in such an interesting turn for him that, and I think this is what I do give him a lot of credit for. Didn't have to do this, but it made for a very interesting twist when Augie isn't actually a bad guy.
He's the best
in
one
a bad world
of the three.
Right?
Yeah,
like
of those versions.
And like he's this like compassionate, empathetic, doesn't believe in what everyone's doing, but is just trying to make the world a better place. Which, hey, listen, there's a lot of problematic ideology there but that's the same problematic ideology that then Harcourt and Economos, I guess, are dealing with when they come back. Or we're just helping the bad guys too. We're just trying to be good guys in a bad system too. Are we any better, kind of thing, right?
Right.
And all that was wonderful. I loved it. And then, of course, the moment with his brother was just some of the best. I think John Cena's best acting and just kind of if you really, really believed it, it was just like, that wasn't Peacemaker. That was just a little brother not wanting to see his big brother get killed again. You know what I mean? Like, that was great. That was so good. And so, yeah, I mean, and to a degree, I think part of the disappointment of the finale is how good this one was, right?
Yeah,
like, this one hit so hard in just the right ways, didn't overstay its welcome at all, maybe could have stayed a little longer. And then you get this finale with a really boring emotional turn where all his friends just come together and say, we still like you, or you should not run away, or whatever it is. It's just a very anticlimactic way for him to resolve this arc of all my family and shit. It just felt very weak. And like, I actually don't believe he's resolved anything. I don't think Chris has actually done any emotional work this season. He went through a lot of shit that he's going to have to process in therapy, but he hasn't dealt with it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't feel like because of the events that now we have this Peacemaker who's a new man and has no, he's just not running away.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, most movie characters don't get to go to therapy just because it doesn't make interesting screen time.
But the TV show should have been the therapy. We should have watched the emotional arc happen. We should have seen him dealing with it, not just it happening to him. And like, again, it was so good. I think if you give us a different finale that's more directly about, I mean, I was kind of disappointed that Earth X didn't try to invade. I mean, there was just, I guess to me, it's like there's so many other ways this could have resolved that would have been cooler. And to a degree, I almost feel like the problem is James Gunn. I feel like by the time we got to this episode, James Gunn's more concerned about what's coming after Peacemaker than he is about wrapping up Peacemaker right now. It feels like the last episode of Peacemaker isn't really about Peacemaker. It's about the DCU and about what's coming.
I feel like Peacemaker's barely in the last episode.
He is.
For one. And also, here's a big no-no for me in general when it comes to superhero TV shows. Let's be honest, everyone. It's a superhero TV show. Don't forget that. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
You need to have your characters suit up in the fucking finale. Let's just make that clear. If your character, the name of your TV show, does not suit up in his superhero attire in the finale, or at least do something kind of heroic or badass, just take a step back for a second and be like, what's our audience here? Like, I mean, it's like having an Iron Man TV show, obviously different character, but then Tony Stark doesn't do anything at the last episode. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I mean, I can understand. There's an argument here for saying this is the denouement, this is the epilogue, where it's the emotional, like we're ending the thing, but it's like this episode is twice as long as the previous, is almost as longer than all the episodes. I mean, it's a small tidbit there, but I want to go back to the 11th Street Kids. It didn't bother me so much just because, it was kind of weird having Abs and her arc with her wife and kind of wrapping that up one.
And it was a well-acted scene, and it was I felt like the moment, the actresses sold the moment, right? This like a moment of two people that love each other but know they're not right for each other. That's a heartbreaking thing that most of us have felt to some degree or another. And they did really well with the scene, but it just felt
too much at the end. It felt like they needed to pepper more in the beginning or throughout the season, and it was there, but it needed to have. It's a long scene for what we had setting it up. Is my problem, which is pacing. You could have had it's pacing issue. But here's like even just weird things for me. It's like the way James Gunn has kind of structured the government. It was already weird with Superman with like the board meeting, and you're not seeing the president, but you're seeing like Rick Flag and Argus, and there's creature commandos, all these kind of things. But just even how like the government works, like it works sometimes and doesn't work in other ways, which is that's how the government is. But like it's just like I don't understand the rules, or I don't really believe I don't believe the structure and the hierarchy of the government here. Cause it's like, and that's a weird thing too. There's no universe where Peacemaker could get bail. You know what I'm saying? Like he can get
That
bail.
he would have like the bail would be an option.
Yeah. I mean, like it's just so it seems like it's a weird thing where it's like if we were sit here writing this, there was like no version where Peacemaker's doing all the things he's doing and then Rick Flag captures him and he's just sent to like a regular jail. Like it just and then but in the previous episodes he's sent to like Argus detainment.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
it feels like making choices to like, oh, let's go get the money. It's because Apps would talk to Vigilante to get the money to build up Checkmate and then also get him bail. Like, it gives a story reason, like conveniently get him out of jail versus breaking him out or something, which would have been cooler, honestly. Look, that's a better finale. As he goes to Argus jail, the 11th Street kids decide to team up and go against Argus, and they work against Argus to bail him out. Versus, yeah, that's a better finale, right? But anyway, I do want to, and I want to kind of talk about Rick Flag Senior here for a second. Like, I didn't love the multiverse stuff at the beginning in terms of walking through doors. I know part of that is it's a safe play because James Gunn doesn't really have to have big cameos and like piss people off or make people happy. But if you're walking through multiverse doors, and obviously there's some references there, but like let's have some fun with it. Let's have more fun with it, right?
Come on, like when they're just going through the different doors and looking at
Yeah,
different places.
yeah. When they're going through the different doors, like if we're going to go through a door, let's do something that's actually prominent in the DC universe instead of having, I mean, imps, whatever. I mean, the skull thing, it's visually cool. I guess the zombie thing, it felt kind of honestly just, it felt TV for me. It felt like a TV situation.
Are any of those? I was assuming that some of those were probably references to something in the DC or have origins to some
I think
degree.
the imp thing is maybe something, but it's nothing that like when I saw it, I knew what it was.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, if you're gonna have zombies, have like a Green Lantern zombie or something.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
why don't you have Guy Gardner there that first episode? Have him there to like shoot one thing where he's walking towards the you know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying, like, why do it like that? It's just a missed opportunity, and it makes it not cool to me. But here's my big problem is like, who is this Rick Flag Senior character now? I started at the beginning of the season really liking him and understanding his pain and his journey. But you're telling me the guy in Creature Commandos and the guy that's in the first half of the season or first 80% of the season is the same guy who's laughing with Lex Luthor's henchmen as his soldiers are dying? You're telling me the scene where he's talking to Harcourt in her apartment, you're telling me that guy is not someone who like would live and die for his team? Like that's the impression I got, that he's like a soldier, right? But now he's this kind of mustache twirly, I'm laughing maniacally while my other teammates
doing
die.
cocaine.
That wasn't him. I thought it was him at first too. That wasn't him.
He doesn't do cocaine.
That was just a guy who looks exactly like him. That wasn't him. I thought it was him. And I was like, wait a minute. No, it's not him. It's not him. Trust me. I looked hard.
Okay. All right.
And like I paused it and I was like, okay, that's not him. It just had the same beard, hair, facial structure. It wasn't him. It was like a young
Wasn't a
guy.
stand-in?
That's what I was wondering. I was kind of like, is this like a mess up? I honestly thought that. But I mean, make it work for me. And also like, I mean, I'm going to ask you one more thing. Is it like in Superman, Lex Luthor, one of his big atrocities is that he's putting people in a pocket dimension as a prison. Obviously there's differences. These people are in these cubes. I'd say probably it's way less inhumane, right? They're literally visible.
Well, and he's putting ex-girlfriends in prison.
Yeah, exactly. I get it. And then Rick Flag Sr. is doing, he's putting back, or it seems like he's just doing metahumans in general, but I'm sure it's initially will be just supervillains and then it kind of rolls into everyone, right? But it's just like, I don't know. What a weird. I didn't really feel like Rick Flag Sr. was like on board with Lex Luthor in that. And I get like at the end of it, there's that shift where he's like, oh, the metahuman's not really listening to the government anymore. But I feel like it's a weird turn for me overall.
Yeah.
And James Gunn has kind of come out and said like, oh yeah, he's like not obviously he's an imperfect character, but they're like, yeah, he's not the hero of Creature Commandos. And we talked about how he falls off at the last episode and What's Her Face takes over. But he's to me heroic in Creature Commando. I don't know, man. Just make it work for me. Fix it for me.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's completely out of character from everything we've seen of him, and just in terms of he's, to a degree, it seems like he's easily persuadable. I would say almost, like I mean, like
James
even if
keeps
you look
saying
at it
like
from Creature Commandos, like he like flip flops twice about who he believes in the princess, and if he's trying to, you know what I mean? Like it's like he seems to a degree to be a bit naive.
I mean, James Gunn keeps saying he's not as smart as he thinks he is.
Yeah, and I think that seems consistent, that part.
Yeah.
And I do think even at the beginning when he was having that conversation with Harcourt, it wasn't really about Harcourt. He just wanted Peacemaker because he wanted to kill him because he wanted to revenge his son.
No, I
You know
know.
what I mean? So I do believe the one track mindedness to a degree. It does still feel like a too big of a jump at the end to where he's at. I think we should have seen that be more gradual.
And I mean, literally, he's like laughing, and like the camera's going around, and people are being shredded by monsters.
Yeah,
it's
yeah, I know. And so that's
what?
I mean, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I think like I said, I think it felt a little unearned him going that bad. It doesn't feel completely out of character though for me. I feel like that's always kind of the guy I thought he was underneath to a degree.
A maniacal, I mean, kind of villain. I mean,
a self-centered person that doesn't really consider too many people outside of his own perspective.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's unfortunate because I just don't believe it. I think also, I mean, my feelings are hurt because I wanted to be a good guy, right? And I get it. It doesn't have to be written that way. That's a me thing. But again, I can see like him being like, let's make salvation. Let's put heroes there. To me, there's an argument. Peacemaker is a metahuman. They keep saying he's not, but like his abilities are otherworldly.
Powers, essentially, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, his like, it's like his muscles, twitch fibers must be like otherworldly. You know
Have
what I'm
you
saying?
seen that zigzagging vein on his arm? That ain't normal.
Oh yeah, yeah, exactly, 100%. Yeah, and so anyway, to me, it's like I could see that. I could see him wanting to put supervillains in there or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's just a little jump for me. I think it's style. I think you do the same thing, but you don't have the camera whipping around them, and like there's like I think it's just direction and style, and I think you could make him. It would have worked way better for me if he wasn't like laughing maniacally and people are doing coke and everything versus he's more concerned about the mission versus taking joy while people are dying.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I know it sounds like such a small thing, but I just think it's just, again, it's another example to me of why this last episode just kind of feels a little all over the place all of a sudden.
Yeah, no, I agree. I still, like I said, I think I don't. It doesn't feel completely out of character, but it does feel too much too soon. Like I think we should have seen that happen a little more gradually. But yeah, I mean, like we do. I mean, we get him basically trying to kill Peacemaker in the interrogation room until he's rescued by Economos. So we do get bits of it where we're just seeing him kind of be.
But that to me it feels understandable.
He's off.
That feels understandable. Yeah,
no, sure it does, but he's not going. He's not following anybody's rules right now. He's doing what he wants.
Yeah, again, that's
the theme of the and so I mean, yes, it's still too big of a jump at the end. I still think it could have been handled better to make it feel more believable, or maybe just another scene with Lex or something that could have helped. I'm not exactly sure, but at the I can see what they were trying. To me, it's just execution. I don't hate the idea. I think it's just execution.
No, I think it's my ultimate issue. I just think that should have been toned down to make it feel more natural to me.
Yeah, yeah.
But I also want to talk about obviously where things are ending up here. with, I mean, again, it's weird to have the Earth X thing all season, and then this last episode is
Yeah.
devoted to Argus's new mission. It didn't feel like, I mean, Rick Flag didn't know about this interdimensional rift, right? Until a couple episodes in, and then we are
Well, that's why they're
discuss.
trying to find him the whole time is the rift. They're going after Peacemaker because of the rift in the beginning, right?
Maybe it's the Argus explanation, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, there's no assumption that Argus knows that what you can do with it or what the rift is,
No,
or
but they assume it's gonna. They assume they say it's gonna do what Luther's did, tear a hole through it like that. That's what they're afraid of. Is that the only other hole to another dimension they're aware of is Luther's, and that one almost destroyed Metropolis. So that's what they're.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I think what my point is, I think it might have been stronger to like have it set up more of like what they're going for. You know what I'm saying? Or like, or the idea that they learn that this is a possibility earlier on. I think there's just ways to make this whole season stronger, like in retrospect. But I do want to talk about the end here, where he drops Peacemaker off, and why the end doesn't matter so much, other than James Gunn's comments after the finale aired, is that a, he says he's pretty sure this is. He said he has no plans for season three. Now that doesn't mean that there's not a season three coming. That doesn't mean that may be a very, because he's not only the showrunner, he's also the head of the studio. A head of the studio will not really say we're going to greenlit season three. They shouldn't unless they know the numbers are strong. There's an ROI there, things like that. Like, or there's a benefit there. Cost cutting measures, whatever. So there could be a season three. He just hasn't announced it yet.
Or it could be called. What was the name of their their agency at the end?
And that's the other thing, is that people are, because he said there's a version where it could continue but in a different way, which is Checkmate, right?
Is that from the comics? Checkmate.
It is, yeah. Checkmate's from the comics. It's nothing huge, but it's just like it's just another organization that does things. I think this is like a good guy version of that. I think they're kind of bad in the comic books, and don't quote me on that. I think Amanda Waller made them. Don't quote me. In response to Argus or something, I think when she was kicked off Argus, I don't remember, which makes sense because it's Abs making it. Abs is Amanda's daughter, whatever. And so what's interesting here is Salvation. Of course, the internet blew up. I didn't even know about this. This was a small comic run, either late 90s, early 2000s, whatever, where it basically is set up where it's a training ground for Darkseid, where it's like he's I guess having villains fight it out or duke it out to work for him or whatever. And second, it's a small comic run where all the villains go there and the villains have to kind of work together to get out. And so I never even heard of it. And I'm I'm in the weeds,
Sure.
And I think part of my issue is, I mean, that was never my bingo card for one. And it's like, that's setting up Man of Tomorrow or the future of the DCU. And it's almost like, here's my issue with it, is that when you look at Marvel, whether you love or hate it, I feel like they kind of treated their trajectory as in they don't know they're going to get another movie, right? That's not always the case. Obviously there's plans that, but I'm saying that they didn't like leave things on the table, is what I should say. You know what I'm saying? They tackled the big arcs, they tackled the big character moments, they hit all those kind of things. I'm like, okay, again, we're only Commando, Superman, and now Peacemaker. I would argue season 1 and season 2 is season 1's part of the CU, but that doesn't really matter. I'm kind of like, what are we doing? Like, what's our trajectory of the universe? And like, is Brainiac not the guy next in Man of Steel? Is Brainiac, I don't know. Granted, I get it. We just come off the finale. It's been 24 hours, less than 24 hours. But I'm just kind of like, I feel like we're taking weird routes because James Gunn likes to do super weird things and off the cuff things, which I get. I like being surprised. I like that. But also, like, you want to see the hits. You know what I'm saying? You want to see the hits before it goes away. That's my point here. You want to see, Thor get both hammers. You want to see Iron Man fight Captain America. You want to see all that. You want to see Iron Man fight or the Mandarin. You want to see, which that was its own thing, but you want to see these things that the comics have done so well or built up in the fan base. And I'm just kind of like, I just don't know. I don't know. I feel a little less confident at the moment in all of it, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I think That's fair. I mean, I think what we knew from James Gunn, even from the Guardians movies, is that sometimes he's not the best with the heartfelt moments. He gets a little sappy. He stays too long. He puts things a little too on the nose, whatever it is, right? And I think to a degree, this show, yes, it was the climax, but it was the climax. It should have been the emotional climax for Peacemaker 2 of like making a choice, right? And choosing like making an internal choice for an internal goal that changes him. And that didn't really happen. And so like, yeah, I understand the worry. I feel it a little bit too. I will say, to me, Green Lanterns is going to drastically tell me things because he's not all hands on that. And like, I'm going to, okay, well, how much is this will still feel like Gunn, even without Gunn directing and writing potentially? And just how good does it have the same problems Peacemaker just had? Like, that will tell me a lot. Yeah, I mean, as far as like the salvation stuff, I looked it up too, just that, I read the same stuff you did. It is interesting. I mean, I understand the inclination to do something that's not been done yet, or that's lesser known. That's not just, everyone knows about the Infinity Stones or Dark Side or whatever,
But it's also like Secret Invasion, Daniel. Like Secret Invasion. You know why Secret Invasion was cool in the comics? Because all the heroes that we thought were heroes turn into fucking aliens.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, how long have they been aliens? You know why it didn't work in the TV show? Because there's no fucking superheroes who turn into aliens. Because
they didn't do it to they half-assed
they made Rhodey a scroll, right?
Yeah.
And
have they retconned that or done anything?
No, they have not. That's a whole other episode we could talk about. I think that will be part of Secret Wars. Will definitely reboot certain things, right?
Yeah.
Remember Maria Hill? She never died. I think it's shit like that will happen. So I think also terrible. Even fucking our boy dies in Secret Invasion. I can't think of his name. Great actor. He's in Andor.
Oh,
he was Talos in the show. Can't think of his name. Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. So, yeah. You know why salvation is a bad idea right now?
Why?
Because there's no fucking supervillains to go there that we know about. That's why it's not a great idea. Okay, who are we going to send there? Is this going to even with three more movies? How many villains are we going to send there? You know why Salvation's cool? Because Gorilla Grodd's there. Lex Luthor's there. We got Lex Luthor. Joker's there. Black Adam's there.
And I'll just say,
that's why it's cool.
I'll just say, I don't know. Maybe I'm not convinced he's going to copy the Salvation. I mean, maybe there's already people in Salvation. Maybe sending people there introduces Darkseid. Maybe it already is Darkseid's training ground or something. I mean, I have a feeling it's not just going to be a verbatim beat for beat, just because of, like you said, we don't really have a rogue gallery for anybody yet. But we want we probably won't before this gets addressed. So, yeah, maybe Brainiac's there. Maybe that's how Brainiac gets to Earth. I mean, there's lots of ways they could do it.
Yeah, but really weird. Why would you ever? I mean, but it's not that I do not need a one-for-one comic adaptation. Mm-hmm. It's not a comic book. It's a TV show and a movie. They're totally different mediums. We need to tell different types of stories. But I don't see it goes back to what you said is like, why would he do it like this when there's so many other more interesting, already pre-existing better avenues that's already been made that he could just rip off? You know what I'm saying? It's like, why do it this way? I don't understand.
I definitely agree with the finale. I'm just not sold that I just don't know what he's doing yet for the other stuff. He's hinted at it, what it could be, but I'm not convinced that's exactly what it is. And so it's like, I agree in theory. I don't really know what this idea is yet. We know like 1% of it. And so that's all. So I'm like, I'm not, you might be right. And when the full idea gets revealed, that may be the conclusion that I come to, is that there's so many more better ways to do this. But my jury is still out on what's left.
I think it's this phase, if you want to call it, chapter 1, as he says, is pretty clear. It's gods and monsters. And I think that means with so far, even with just Superman, with Creature Commandos, now Peacemaker, I really do think it's pretty much how the government and how the world reacts
Mhm.
to these gods and how these monsters. It's not necessarily in saving the world. Maybe at the end it is. It's saving the world from an existential threat
Right.
that kind of puts it's kind of like Civil War, right? Where it's like Infinity War, where they do something like
Yeah.
Infinity War, and then people don't really care so much about the Sokovia Accords because
Right.
you saved the world. So it's kind of like our argument is kind of not as great as it was before Infinity War.
Right.
So I think that's kind of what it feels like. But I just don't think I'm just not digging it yet. I mean, like to me, because of this finale, I was kind of like, and also I think the show should be like you said, it should 100% be, it should be wrapping up Chris's arc or having him do, I think it's like because they meshed all together, because I get unfinished answers about the DCU in terms of like not anything clear. There's nothing cut and dry. This sounds like the show is going to continue to spin off. Like I just, it feels like there was just so many better ways to do this. They should have ended it when they're walking out the door, and
Yeah. I think just
that'd been the end of it.
in general, they ended it in a way that was trying to set up 5 or 6 different things, and that's just not a satisfying way to end anything in general. I mean, that's why middle movies and trilogies suck, or it's like, it's not satisfying to be left without resolving what felt like the big points of the show, especially for Chris.
It'd be one
so-
thing if, as I say, it'd be one thing if like next year, next fall, we have Checkmate season 1, right?
Sure.
And TV can get away with cliffhangers. What they used to be able to do it when there was this idea that there's a writer's room. It's ongoing. Like they're writing. They're in
Or they've been renewed for 7 seasons. They've got a contract for however many seasons, so it's not a what if every year. Yeah.
Yeah, and so it's like that would not feel as bad, but I just don't. I mean, it really sounds like he's going to take these characters and put them in the DCU and other projects and kind of continue their story there. And it's like I don't feel like their story's done. Like you're not going to get that much story in the movies. How many people are going to?
I mean,
they're going to put abs in Batman or Wonder Woman or a Superman movie. You're going to get a ton of character development from her. I doubt it.
I don't
what
need
I'm
much.
saying?
Honestly, to be honest, the only one I need more character development is Peacemaker. I feel like the rest of them kind of resolved their own arcs this season. Now, was it strong? No, it was pretty weak arcs and pretty weak conclusions. But I don't feel like everyone else is on a cliffhanger. I feel like ads accepted that their relationship wouldn't work and started her own business and it's successful. Harcourt learned to open up her heart or something. I mean, they're weak. They're not great, but they are complete. And even Economos, probably something about feeling accepted. I don't even know. But it's Chris. It's Peacemaker, the one that, and it's so dissatisfying because it was the central arc of the show. It was the driving force of the show is the one that's left on a thread, and that just doesn't feel good. Now, and I am a little worried how are they going to give that really strong, deep emotional arc for Chris a satisfying ending when he's staring the screen in a movie with a bunch of other people? Yeah, that might be difficult. But yeah, so I mean, I hear you, and I feel all the worries and stuff. I mean, I think the internet will jump on this a bit too hard, and this will be the harbinger of the DC's doom until the next good thing comes out.
I was way less vitriol before I started this podcast, but talking to you about it, I've gotten more fired up about it. I still like it. I'm still going to watch everything. I'm going to watch this season again. You know what I'm saying? So like, sure. I'm sure I went on tangents, but I'm just talking about how I'm talking about how the show made me feel, Daniel.
Well, good. That this is a safe place for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like I get all the word again. When I was watching it and we got to the second outdoor concert scene and we did another full song, it was just like someone should have told Gunn no at this point. Like someone should have said this is a bad idea. Musical people aren't watching this. And honestly, don't even do the first one. Just do the song. Just do the last one.
100%. Or have the first one be that song. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. It should not have been this other random song and then the theme song.
Yeah. I love both songs. Don't get me wrong. I
Sure.
loved listening to both songs, but that's like 6 minutes of real estate.
And listen, they work, but how Gunn works, these kinds of songs work. But these are not nuanced lyrics or anything. Like this is just
No.
like just saying straight up what it is and how I feel and making it rhyme. Like that there's no
What was that one song that was this montage? It was uh Fuck My Heart in the Ass.
yeah, that wasn't that the was that not the first concert song?
That was the one where they're going through the doors,
That's right. Yeah. I thought it
which
was
is
the
just
same scene. Is it not a mix up between them going through doors and them at the boat? Maybe not. I don't remember.
I don't I don't know. I don't think so.
Anyway, yeah. It Gunn got off his leash and a little bit too much at the end of this one, and I think
Yeah.
I hope maybe some of the criticism might steer him from going this hard. You never go full gun, and he went full gun.
This he went full gun. You never go full gun. I do think, we've been saying this since I've been saying this from the beginning. Like I do love we've said this like a lot lately. I love James Gunn and his sensibilities, right? I love Guardians 1, but it does feel like he is someone that needed to be reined in a little bit, even for like I think his weaker stuff is later when he's less reined in.
Yeah,
And he's gotten closer and closer to what I think he wants to do. And what's crazy is that he has been in this feedback loop of like everything he's come out, it's 80%, 85%, 90% of Rotten Tomatoes. And I mean, even Superman, like I'm a defender of Superman. I really love Superman. It's got a lot of problems. You know what I'm saying? I just watched Fantastic Four again. That movie is slick as shit in terms of just everything, production design, camera work, blah blah blah. But it kind of feels a little.
cookie
It's
cutter.
not as memorable
Yeah.
as Superman
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah, I
Even
agree.
though it's got some crazy good stuff in it.
Yeah.
But Superman is like flawed as shit. You know what I'm saying?
But it has
It's-
so many moments. I remember that scene. I remember that moment. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that character moment, or I remember how that made me feel,
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah.
And he's good at that. But anyway, it's just like the DC. Yeah, it's such a weird. I mean, the DCU and then the MCU are just so different.
Which I'm happy
It's-
about. I'd rather it be that than photocopies at the end of the day. But yeah, we're going to be the next few years of superhero will be interesting to watch. Just in terms
Yeah,
of
I mean, you're right though. All eyes are on Lanterns. In my opinion, whenever the team was
that's
announced,
next, right? That's before Supergirl.
yeah, it's supposed to be spring, like the first quarter of 2026. And to me, it's like just knowing the team, the tone they say they're going for, all these things.
It's all the right answers.
It's all the right answers in like for what they're doing, but I'm like, it looks like to me, like I imagined True Detective. I imagined something like that. And it's so different than what they're doing so far, which is good. But now I'm honestly like, I wonder if it's closer to the DCU so far than it is True Detective. Like I'm very curious as
Maybe.
to where
Yeah, we'll just see. I mean, I'll say that like projects like Clayface give me hope. Just having a straight up horror movie about a villain. The
it's
fact
fine.
that and Mike Flanagan wrote. I mean, like to me, that's like okay, they're willing to. That to me is not gonna. There's no way that can feel like a James Gunn project to me. I just don't. I don't know how it could. And Mike Flanagan write it. You know what I'm saying? Like Mike Flanagan wrote it. The dude's good. And so like the fact that he is actively trying to produce stuff that is not just like his stuff gives me hope, right?
Yeah,
So
I mean
we'll see.
that one's interesting because it was from his mouth. They needed content, and it was good. Like it kind of come out of nowhere. It was not part of the plan. Mike Flanagan reached out. Hey, I got a Clayface idea. James goes like, sure. I mean, I'll read it if you got something sometime. And then bam, it happened really quick. And he's like, oh, you already wrote it. You've written it.
Yeah.
And so it happened because they needed content and it was good enough for James Gunn to make. I still think it's super weird choice. I mean, like when I look at my
Oh, I
My-
love it. I think it makes so much sense. Clayface is like the thing, but in like I mean he's like the thing except you're it's like you're watching someone slowly turn it. I mean, I think it's at a base level, the idea of Clayface is a horror movie. The idea of that character is a horror movie. An actor that
No,
tries
I'm
to
not,
stay beautiful and then all that, like that's just perfect material for horror. And so
I'm
to
not
me, it
saying
makes,
that I don't like the idea. I'm not saying that I'm not going to watch it. I'm not saying I'm not going to buy the 4K Blu-ray Steelbook. All those things are going to happen for it. But what I'm saying is it's like because there is this reaction to the DCU and because James Gunn likes to go just left field sometimes, we're doing resources and real estate to ideas and characters that don't don't put necessarily butts in seats, right? Like I think he's learned in the last 6 months to a year because his conversation has shifted to, yeah, Wonder Woman's a priority now. Batman's a priority now because things like the Authority have now been pushed to the wayside because those things it's hard to justify a $200 million movie for a group of characters that no one knows about. I mean, even looking, I mean, like, and part of it also is just looking at the Marvel side of things. Fantastic Four, characters that's been showing up in Marvel with Thunderbolts, Captain America movie with Harrison Ford as the Red Hulk. I get those things aren't mainstays, but those are pre-established actors and characters that we've seen in other bigger movies. The box office is different now, and I think he's kind of like, oh, like we should probably do Wonder Woman versus an Amanda Waller TV show. Oh, we should probably do Batman versus a $152 million Authority TV show. Or I mean, Swamp Thing is. I still love Swamp Thing, but I'm saying. Like it's just it feels like I'm concerned about the choices and delegating money to projects. That one's a little different. I'll give you that because it's a horror film. Obviously the budget's gonna be much smaller, and
Yeah.
because it's a horror film and it's a DC film, I think automatically it's guaranteed it's going to get a good return on investment.
Yeah,
Because you're going to bring
have
in horror people
fans, you're gonna have Batman
and people like
fans.
me who would have showed up whether it was horror or not. Yeah, no, I agree with that, but I do think it was like content versus um,
Sure,
any
maybe
clear
so.
plan.
But he always says nothing gets made without a good script. So that is at least the check to that balance of we have to make stuff, we got to get content, but nothing's getting made if it's not good.
Do you think the Peacemaker season 2 scripts we're now looking
He
at the
wrote
thing?
that though. He gets to approve his own scripts.
Do you think Superman was an amazing script? I mean,
Superman, I give you a little bit. When I look at Superman, what that movie feels like is that half of those decisions were James Gunn's and the other half were Warner Brothers to a degree or something like that. Like that
I
movie
don't
to
think
me
so.
feels like a movie made by a committee to a degree.
No.
Personally.
No. Well, Fantastic Four feels
or a
like it's
movie
made by committee.
by constraint of what resources or actors or something or whatever. It felt a little bit like he was having to color inside a box. It wasn't
That
necessarily
movie 100% was made with a structure based off All-Star Superman, and it changed based on reactions,
Right.
I mean, he's the head of the studio. For everything he said that he doesn't really have much people to answer to, maybe than David Zaslav. But like it feels like friends, family, obviously critiques Peter Safran, those kind of people. But it's not just even the structure. It's like, I mean, the dialogue. There's some weird things in that movie. Again, I give it a pass. I watched it again last week. I mean, for like the sixth, seventh time. But yeah, I don't know. That feels like a James Gunn movie because it has a lot of weird James Gunn faults in it.
It totally does. It totally does. Anyway, all I have to say is listen, I see the red flags as well. Like I said, my jury's still out on how invested I'm going to be in his universe. I'm still in, especially with Lanterns. I mean, that is just like perfect. It sounds perfect. I will just
Yeah,
have
that
to
bums
see.
me out too.
Have to see.
Lanterns bums me out too because it's like, I mean, like I'm in. Don't get me
bums you
wrong.
out?
Yeah, it bums me out. It's Hal Jordan when he's fucking 55 or
Oh,
60.
I don't care about that.
I know you don't, but Hal Jordan's my top 3 favorite superheroes of all time. It's like making it's like making a Captain America movie for the first time and having Sam Wilson as Captain
Well,
America.
it would be, except if Sam Wilson was the most memorable Captain American for half the people that read the comics. Sure. I mean,
there's a strong
John
argument
Stewart
that
is the only Green Lantern I ever knew, and a lot of people my age ever knew.
yeah, not for comic book people. I mean, it's the opposite for
For
comic people.
that
It's
got
100%
into
Hal
comics
Jordan.
because of the cartoons.
Yeah, I mean, again, yeah, it's sad to me. It's sad.
I
It's
get it.
very disappointing to me. I'm still gonna watch it. I
Hey,
mean,
we already got his story with
oh yeah, yeah,
Ryan Reynolds. So.
yeah. He wasn't the worst Hal Jordan, actually. He wasn't,
No,
honestly.
yeah, that didn't look like what the problem. It did not seem the problem with the movie was him. Like
No,
as yeah,
no. It was not. It was the everything else around him was probably
literally
was the
everything
problem.
else.
Everything else around him was the problem,
Yeah,
including his suit. So, which I
yeah.
didn't hate, honestly, but I totally get the criticism of it. Anyway, I'm sure Hellraiser will be good.
I hope so.
And the reason why that sucks for me, and none of this is, we're fixing to go. I know we got time or on time, but that show sucks for me because the best Green Lantern stories revolve around Hal Jordan doing certain things,
Hmm.
and John Stewart is like he's a decent character in the comics, but he's also like the same character over and over again in the comics.
Hmm.
But it's just like there's so many things I want to see from the Green Lantern side of the universe that I'm like, I won't get to see that. I won't get to see Hal do it. It's gonna be everybody else,
Hmm.
and that's disappointing for me because he's
Sure.
like my top three of all time.
Sure,
So
makes sense.
yeah, and maybe they'll give Kyle Chandler some cool. I mean, what I'm afraid of, they're going to do the only thing he's notable for 90s people is go bad. I feel like he's going to be bad in Lanterns at the end of the day, which is disappointing for me.
Yeah, that makes sense.
His most famous thing is literally after he goes bad. It's when he turns good again. That's his most famous thing ever in the comic books, and it's one of the best comics ever written.
So you
in
want
comic
that?
book
You just don't want it
history.
yet.
I wanted it later. Yes.
Yeah, you want that moment. You want him to go bad and then come back, but you just don't want it
Yes.
immediately.
Yes, I want him to go bad. I wanted what we're getting, but 6 years from now.
Yeah, yeah. I hear you. That
I,
makes
I
sense.
wanted Hal Jordan. I wanted John Stewart. I wanted Guy Gardner.
Yeah.
Not Kyle Chandler. What's his name? Kyle. I can't think of his last name now. It's Kyle something. I wanted all that, but I wanted the lead up to that. You know what I'm saying? It's like Salvation.
you.
I want Salvation sounds great, but give me Joker first, baby.
Right. Yeah.
Make that the place where you put Joker and Gorilla Grodd
Right.
and Black Adam and Lex
Right.
Luthor all in one place. Like, why are we doing shit early when it's like we're not building it up yet? It's like doing Civil War, like movie 3, and it's like, okay, I don't care. Okay, it makes okay. Anyway, that's my problem with some of the stuff happening right now. Anyway, I just want to end the podcast on a positive note. Is that I like season 2 of Peacemaker. I do now think season 1 is stronger. I like the opening of season 2 better than the opening of season one, and the finale really kind of made me kind of question things.
Sure.
Clearly, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think season 1 is a much tighter story. It's a better told story. I say at the same time, I think season 2 has better emotional moments. I think the moments with Chris and his
agree.
emotional
I
journey
agree with
stuff
that.
much better than season 1. I mean, I feel connected to Chris in a way I did not after. I wanted more Peacemaker, but I just wanted to have fun and him make jokes and destroy shit after season 1. Now I'm like, how is he going to deal with this childhood trauma? And that's a good thing. I'm that much more invested in the character. But I agree with you. The finale was disappointing. It showed some problematic trends that Gunn has shown in the past, and yeah, makes it elicits some doubt in the future in terms of just the plan and the execution of the plan. But just like you, I'm ready for what's next. I can't wait for Lanterns. Lanterns is unequivocally the most anticipated I've been for any project just because of the concept. Just because you told me True Detective with space. And I'm like, yes. Just I want True Detective in space, even if it's not Lantern. I just want that now, please. I want that, please, now. I want Star Trek, but True Detective.
We've gotten one image of that show. It's just them walking on
down
a
the
road.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which hey gets my pee
It
hard.
looks great.
But,
they
but I
have cool jackets on. They had really cool
and they
jackets
got.
on.
I like the rings. I've already got Guy Gardner's ring in my cabinet over there. I need the other two now.
Yeah.
But
So.
I gotta ask one more thing, Daniel. Now since you brought it up, it's weird to me, and you touched upon this, that Chris doesn't make a decision. Like he does, but he makes it off camera. Like it's like Abs gives her his speech, which is powerful, and you can see obviously it moves him, and so you could say he made his decision silently.
Yeah.
But we didn't see it,
Yeah.
right? I mean, I guess making checkmate is the decision, but it's super weird when
Yeah.
someone another character brings you the solution and you
Mhm.
just and you decide based on that versus
Right.
you doing something to make you realize it yourself. I think when a character
100%.
realizes their internal goal by
Yeah.
completing their external goal, it's so
Yeah.
much better than being passive character and running away from the situation and someone bringing him the
Yeah.
solution.
Yeah. I
Super
in
weird.
general, I just dislike character speeches being like the moment of character turn. Like if this character gave them a speech and that's how they figured out. I just in general, that's just not my favorite way for a character to learn anything is just to be told it and then realize it. But
I
yeah,
agree.
it is weak. I mean, I think he had a very weak end to a very, very strong arc, which just kind of leaves a little bit of a bitter taste.
Well, we'll see you next time on Checkmate.
Indeed.
I think he's going to feel the pressure on this one. And I think he's going to announce something sooner than he planned on announcing it.
I could see that.
Yeah, I think it will. Um, Before we go, I'd like to highlight one last thing that may or may not be TV or movie related. Daniel?
I'm going to highlight my new single, which by the time you are potentially watching this episode, it has already been out for 3 hours. But 1 hour from now, I have a brand new single coming out. It's called Because of You, I Found Me. You can listen to it on all the streaming platforms. It's about my amazing wife. And I hope you listen to it, and I hope you tell me what you think. Dan the Voyager is my musical persona. So you can find me by searching that in most of the places. And yeah, new single out now. Please go stream. Thanks much.
I absolutely love the story I saw of like the pictures and like how you have the
Oh yeah,
arrows. Like I love that. And I was like, that's the kind of shit I want to see more of from Dane the Voyager is that kind of visual storytelling.
sure.
And I loved it. And I was kind of like, it just, yeah, it made me like happy. It just made me happy that I know you both. And because I
Mm.
listened to the song and I'm watching the
Yeah,
image and I'm just
yeah,
like,
yeah. I found
fuck
this
yeah,
great
fuck yeah.
picture. I have my wife had this great picture of her as a little kid, like on a like a red. What was the brand of red wagons? But what was one of those
Yeah.
iconic brand of red
Yeah.
wagons. I can't remember the brand. And then like holding a big airplane toy, and then I found a picture of me dressed up. I was like I was Daniel Boone, I think in like a homeschool play or something.
Yeah.
So that was my costume for that.
It's
And
great.
yeah, no, it was fun to use that, especially because like my wife's not on social media and is pretty particular about her privacy. So I knew like using a current photo, she wouldn't love that. So this is my way to get around like I'm being personal without sharing too much,
Oh
you
yeah.
know, things that would make her
I
feel
mean,
creepy.
and also just like, and this is for me to say to you is like, what a great gesture of love. And
Mm,
like, she's gonna have that forever. I want to start crying thinking about it. She's gonna have that forever. And like to know
yeah.
that you made that for her, dude, it makes me love you even more. And
Well,
I love that you
thank
did
you.
that. So it's fantastic. Now I'm waiting on my fucking song, Daniel. That's what I really want to say. Where's
Because of
my
you,
song about
I
me?
watched all the movies
There we
that I
go.
never would have,
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, something like that.
Oh, that's a number one right there. I love it. My before we go is, I didn't really have a good one planned out. I just thought of it. I have been watching The Paper.
Okay.
Um,
I've watched two
and
episodes.
have you? Okay. So I really love The Office, especially
Oh
after
yeah.
obviously the first season or two is kind of, it's getting its feet wet.
Season two is when it really picks up. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And that show is amazing, right? There's a reason why we talk about it in the way we do. And The Paper, it's one of those things where it's not just like it's not as funny as The Office, but
Yeah.
I do like I'm having a good time when like I have my lunch and I'm watching an episode and I get to kind of turn my brain off, but like I'm liking the characters.
Mm,
I'm liking the earnestness of our main character, Ted, and I like that actor too. But
yeah.
I'm really enjoying the characters in the world, and it just feels I don't know, it just feels good not being super invested in something and kind of getting
Sure.
like maybe a more grown up sitcom. Like we get to cuss a little bit, we get to have some
Sure.
more adult kind of things, and I'm liking it. It's not the
Yeah.
best thing ever, but I'm enjoying it.
Yeah. It definitely feels different. I feel like it's almost more of a feel good show than a
Yeah,
comedy at times.
I
And I
agree.
think it's less mean with its comedy. I mean, if you go back and watch The Office, there's just some like characters just being mean to each other, and like it's just and it's a
Yeah,
little bit reminiscent of someone just like I don't know some of the more common rhetoric that was going on in the mid-late aughts. But like, it was just kind of like, you know, everyone, you know, tearing people down at any chance they get. And characters aren't like punished by the show, you know, like it's kind of just shown as normal, or this is what happens, or like, you know, whatever. And this show seems a lot more interested in like trying to explain why the eccentric characters are eccentric, like trying to give empathetic reasons, like reasons to empathize. Like most of the time the show did not give you a reason to empathize with Michael Scott or something. Like it wasn't trying to make you like him. It was just trying to make him an idiot and you laugh, right? And I feel like this show's a bit different, and it wants you to like the characters. And I think in general, you know, I like the concept that it's like trying to strengthen the idea of what good journalism is. I think that's cool. I think that's a way the show could do good beyond just being entertainment, is like, let's actually teach people what good journalism means and what it looks like and what you have to do to do it. That sounds great. We could all use a lesson in what real journalism looks like.
A refresher for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I love the opening, and I love that they're connected to a toilet paper company.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's great. Yeah, I love the
great.
executives. I think are my favorite characters. The guys above, the one British guy especially. He's very funny.
He's like a Michael Scott kind of character in a way.
Because he's this like kind of detached CEO. It feels like it's so reflective of like the current feelings towards corporate culture today versus in the office. Like in the office, the manager's the idiot. You know, the middle manager doesn't know shit. The CEOs are brilliant. The CEOs, you know, David always knows what to do, knows what he's going. They hire Joan, all this stuff. Like the CEOs are always trying to get the middle managers to do what they want them to do, and they're just two idiots to do it. And then you got the lower people that are smart, but whatever. And now it's like, no, the idiot's the CEO in this episode. The guy, the CEO, he has no idea what's going on. He tells people, and they don't, like, which feels more realistic to some of the situations I've been in, right? And so like I get it, but it is. I would love to. There's a great research article comparing the shows, like rhetoric, and drawing lines between that and just like the change in the public.
Send me that. I want to see that.
I'm telling someone to write it.
Oh. I thought you said there was a great one you read. I was like, I want to read that.
It's on the platter. This is a perfect research project for someone in like a research degree,
Gotcha.
in like culture, to say like, how has, just to draw lines between how they're portraying certain positions in a company between the two shows, and how that, you know, it's an interesting from that angle for sure.
Yeah. I'm excited to. I'm at the very end of it. I'm excited to finish it. It's cool that you're watching it too. We don't really talk about all the things we're watching, and then I'm like, oh, you're always like, yeah, man, I'm 2 episodes in. I'm like, oh, okay.
Oh yeah, I finished King of the Hill. Yeah, it's good.
I haven't finished that yet. I dropped off on it, honestly. Alrighty. Well, I think we did it. If you haven't already, subscribe to the podcast, youtube.com/@realtherapypod. And of course, the best place to consume all the content is there. And then of course, go to Spotify, YouTube, or Spotify, Apple Podcast, all the places. You know what I'm saying? Like, you leave us only 5-star reviews. We only accept 5 stars. And again, Daniel will be indebted to you if you follow or subscribe.
Unspecified amount.
Yeah, read the fine print, baby. We did it, Daniel. I'm excited next week because we have Dr. Bruce Hutchinson back on to talk The Usual Suspects for episode 260.
Never seen The Usual Suspects.
I'm excited for you to watch it. I've only seen it once.
One of those ones that I probably should have watched long time ago.
It's not that big of a cinema sin, but it is a cinema sin for sure. I remember being very good. Obviously, there's things about it that are very well known of what it did. And I'm excited to kind of revisit it with a bigger filmmaker brain. That's my excitement level. My name is Donavon Thompson.
I'm Daniel Wingfield.
And we'll see you at your next session.
Real Therapy is brought to you by 241 Studios and viewers like you. Thanks for stopping by. Remember to tune in every Friday at 3 p.m. for a new session with Daniel and Donavon. And remember, they're gonna talk about how it makes them feel. They're gonna watch all the